Good morning, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the partially mask-wearing militant state of Michigan. Few things this morning, kind of light subject. I've got another vlog I want to do later on, but I have to kind of look the screenshots over and get everything set up. So the first thing is, I saw this tweet. Looks like we're sending soldiers over to the Ukraine. I have a pretty good idea that they're not there to help free Brittney Griner. I don't think this is in any way, shape, or form an advantage to Brittney Griner having U.S. troops in the Ukraine. Second thing is, this little snippet here: a man found dead near a former bank. It was over in Saginaw area. I guess the final withdrawal, as it were. The final withdrawal. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, before I start that, the betting. I did post my bets from about 2 weeks ago, and it was about 75%. Last week, I did really about the same, maybe a little bit better. I had a couple of the Green Bay Buffalo game. I did well on that one. There was a couple of college games I did well on, but once again I was like 9 or 10 out of 12, somewhere in there, 75% again. I didn't do any betting this week. I didn't feel the good mojo this weekend. But that does bring us to one of the big sports talks. I mean, Michigan has been in the mainstream here. I kept a couple of for a few days now. The first was the altercation in the tunnel, and then when college football, they brought out their initial rankings, and that caused a stir. So we'll talk about the rankings first. As far as where Michigan's spot, it doesn't matter. Not really. As long as they're probably around 5 and maybe 6, it really doesn't matter. Because it's going to come down to that team, I can't say it, that Team South, that's ranked number 1 right now. So the Team South is ranked number 1. Michigan is ranked number 5. The only way that really either one of these teams could get into the playoff is winning the last regular season game, which gives them their part of the conference. I don't even know what they call them anymore, how the conference is divided up, East and West or whatever, but they get the title and then they go and play for the conference championship. So it's really going to come down to the last 2 games of the season, the one with the team from the South and the conference championship game. So as long as they stay within the top 4 or 5, or 5, anywhere from 4 to 6, it doesn't matter. They'll be just fine. So now comes the altercation in the tunnel. And Treasure Troller is going to take a far different view than most people. But I will provide a little disclaimer here, or make a little bit of a disclosure, is I do not like Michigan State. I do not like them. And I do not, there's 3 schools I don't like. I do not like Michigan State. I do not like Notre Dame, and that's more on a personal level with a interaction I had with a Notre Dame head coach. And then I don't like the Team South. Now, the Team South and Michigan State are kind of, you don't like them because of rivalry, and you like one and you don't like the other two. That's just the way it is. So we got the standings taken care of. The playoff thing, it's not going to matter till the end of November anyways. Now comes the altercation in the tunnel. Michigan State got the brakes beat off them on the field. They really did. This has been 2 years in the making. I knew last year at about Game 4 that Michigan would beat Ohio State. I said it. Would beat the team south because they were running the ball. They were spending a lot of time on running the football. Not a lot of this spread RPO stuff. They were doing a lot of run blocking, and I knew that was just going to cause a lot of problems. You don't face a lot of teams anymore these days that are a heavy run block team. And we can get into that later on with the whole with my whole theory on the RPO offenses and what Michigan is doing. They were physically manhandled in that game. Michigan has some issues with the red zone and pass defense where they have difficulty scoring touchdowns and defending premier receivers. But they beat them on the field. I've been in the Michigan tunnel down in there. I've been in the Michigan locker room, and so I know how close these things are. They're even closer than what they look like on film. There's a lot of yakking. There was last year they were yakking with Ohio State. Everybody likes to jaw. It doesn't get physical. But this time it did. So I'm sure things were kind of building. I mean, you're getting your ass handed to you out on the field, and then Harbaugh runs the flea flicker on you to do nothing more than, run the score up, which really is fuel for next year's game, where you do it to them 2 or 3 times and put that kind of crap to rest. So, was there yakking in the tunnel? I don't know. Between the two, there's 2 Michigan guys running up into the tunnel, and the whole Michigan State team is going. I don't think a lot was said, but it wouldn't take a lot to get things started. But aside from that, Treasure Troller, if Treasure Troller was the athletic director at Michigan State, which I'm not, and which I don't particularly like Michigan State to begin with, but if I was the athletic director at Michigan State, I would forfeit the rest of the season. I would forfeit the rest of the season, not for the acts of the individuals that were in the 5 and 6 and 7-on-1, but because all the other players just looked and kept on walking. They didn't go back to say, hey, cut this shit out, we're better than this, you know better, knock it off. They didn't pull them away. They just looked at what was going on and got out of the way. So they're just as culpable as the guy that's swinging the helmet at a guy. So right down to the freaking kicker, all these guys were all in on this. They were all in on it. So the only way to really bring respectability back to the program and say this shit isn't going to be tolerated, we're not going to be a bunch of animals, we're going to forfeit the rest of the season. We're going to get rid of the kids that don't want to be here to play and leave their talking and their physicality on the field. The rest of them can go. I don't know how you're going to get a 5-star quarterback to go there and play. So if I'm a recruiter for, if I'm a recruiter for Central Michigan, and you're a 4-star quarterback being courted by Michigan State, and you're going to say, hey, look, it's a great place to play, but you know something? They're all a bunch of loose cannons, man. You could have your star receiver getting into a scuffle with somebody after a game and, be out for the next game. Be out for 3 or 4 games. Be out for the rest of the year. Come here where we got a handle on that shit. Can't help you with injuries, but you can best be sure that you're not going to have anybody doing this off the field or in the tunnel shed. I mean, there is no major recruit out there that's going to want to go there. I mean, not if they're smart. Why would you want to go there? They're a bunch of thugs. They don't want to play football. They don't want to do all the hitting on the field. They want to wait till after the game where they can catch some little scrawny 5'10" receiver or defensive back, and 6 or 7 of them pound on them. So I think for the best thing for the Michigan State program is you just say, I don't think we're at a level of behavior that we can be proud of, and we didn't have anybody stopping it. So maybe we just should forfeit the rest of the season and think about just what the hell we're doing and what the hell kind of players we want on and off the field. I mean, they don't have to be Brigham Young and they don't have to be the Naval Academy, but people need to know that that shit just will not be tolerated. So that's my take, and I know I'm going to get a lot of heat. I got a lot of heat when I showed a picture of the I think it was Oklahoma, when the 2 MMA fighters beat the piss out of a couple of drunk guys. One was I think a long snapper on the Sooner football team. I said, that shit doesn't go on. If they came back to my gym, they worked out, I'd tell them to get their shit and get out of here. That's not why I train people. That's not the kind of shit I want in my gym. I took a lot of heat for that. So I'm sure I'll take a lot of heat for saying these guys need to shut the program down and re-examine it. But I'm right. I'm right. So this is Treasure Troller saying aloha, good day, and go blue.